Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you the 5th and final week of the Hellfire Gala. I'm giving you guys my honest review. We're going to be going over the one issue that we got this week. For the big finale of this Hellfire Gala, we only had X Factor issue number 10. And you'd think this wouldn't really look like a very important issue, but we had some pretty important things happen in it, and some not so important things. So I'm going to be getting into it, but as a lot of you probably already know, the Hellfire Gala is just this one night only in which all of the mutants of Morocco are inviting different heroes, different ambassadors from different countries, different celebrities to come to Krakoa, despite their rule that only mutants are allowed on the island. They're letting in mutants for this one night to basically expand their deals with different countries. They're trying to convince different countries to take the life-saving drugs and pay the money for it. And it's all spearheaded by Emma Frost, who's the leader of it all. And through these last 4 weeks of the Hellfire Gala, now this final one, we've been having some really important announcements for mutant kind. We got the announcement of the brand new X-Men team, which we had already known about, but you know, they officially announced it in the comics. We got the announcement that the mutants basically terraformed Mars and made it a livable environment for the mutants of Morocco, which is the sister island to Krakoa. And in the Sword issue last week, we got the huge announcement that mutants are now able to produce this strong metal called Mysterium, the strongest metal in the galaxy. So they're deciding to distribute it, and people give them money for it, obviously, all these alien races, so that they can become the dominant species of the galaxy. The mutants have become more and more powerful through this Hellfire Gala. Most of these series have actually just been issues of the ongoing series that like sort of tie into the Hellfire Gala, but on the checklist, the official checklist, they have issues highlighted in red, and those really are the ones that you get the announcements in. So I'd recommend, if you're about to start reading the Hellfire Gala, just read those issues. All of the other ones on the checklist really aren't necessary unless you're already getting the issues of those ongoing series. I wouldn't really recommend them. But this X Factor issue, the only one that we had this week, it's a really small finale. Most other weeks we had like 2 to 3 issues actually coming out. But this one isn't highlighted in red, and that kind of surprised me because there was one important thing that happened in this issue, which happens at the very end and leads completely into the Trial of Magneto miniseries. I'm going to be getting into full spoilers, so just a fair warning, go ahead and read this issue if you don't want to get spoiled, because we're going to be talking about all of the details and everything that actually happens in this issue. But yeah, you can see on the cover there, it's the X Factor team just dancing to the Hellfire Gala, and you might not know this, but this is actually also the last issue of the X Factor series. And this team of X Factor, including Polaris, Dakin, a bunch of other different mutants, iBoy, have had this ongoing series in which they've been trying to help people with their resurrection, anyone who the resurrection protocols haven't been going good for. And this was just a great finale to that series. I have not been getting it ongoing, and it mostly just followed the finale of this actual series. It didn't have that much to do with the Hellfire Gala. Like I said, like a lot of these other series did, they just used it kind of as a setting. And we saw the ongoing plot points in this series progressed. I'm going to pull this off the stand so I can refresh my memory on everything that actually happened. But it's written by Leah Williams with art by David Baldione. They're just the regular creative team. And then we also had a few pages by Lucas Werneck and David Messina. So the issue opens up here with all of these X Factor teammates, you know, North Star, Dakin, Rachel Gray. They're all just preparing for this Hellfire Gala. They've got all of their fancy suits that, I'm forgetting his name, but that mutant who's friends with Emma Frost, who designed all of these suits. He's like a clothes designer. They're showering, putting on all their clothes, and getting ready for this fancy night. And we see it from the perspective of iBoy, which is really interesting. If you don't know, iBoy is just basically a mutant with the power that he can see more than anyone else, because he's got all these eyes like over every single part of his body, and through each eye he has like more senses, and he's more aware of everything else that is going on, and he's even able to like almost predict people's movements and predict the future because he can see pretty much everything at once. So everyone's getting ready, and then finally they walk onto the stage on the Hellfire Gala with all their fancy costumes. And I was expecting this issue to be taking place like pretty much fully after the Hellfire Gala, but it turned out that it was really just an overview of the entire night. I was expecting it to be completely after because this is the last issue. It should be sort of like the after party, but really it was just an overview of what X Factor did throughout the whole Hellfire Gala. And a lot of this issue is focusing on Prodigy, who is a member of X Factor. I honestly honestly don't know much about his actual character. I'm not even completely sure what his power is, but he recently got resurrected apparently, and he didn't actually remember how he died, but he's been trying to track down whoever it was that killed him. A lot of mutants are able to choose whether or not they want to remember how they died, or whether or not they want to remember certain parts of their old life before they're resurrected, so that's a big factor of this X Factor series, no pun intended. So we see Prodigy taking some clues from different mutants, and he's finally able to track down this person who's basically, I think, the owner of this club that Prodigy used to go to, who targeted different people and, murdered them. So Prodigy beats him up and, gives him what he deserved, and some of the other mutants help out, like Boy's able to assess the situation with his extreme senses, and then all of the rest of the mutants, we're also just seeing what their deal is at the Hellfire Gala. Some of this issue I didn't really understand fully because I think there was a lot going on in this series that had to be wrapped up in this issue, and if you're not somebody who's been getting the series, I'm not, then you might not fully understand this issue, but for the most part it was still decent. There was good banter and everything, and I thought it was pretty well written. I just am not getting the series, so I didn't fully understand everything. And we got some cool connections with a lot of the other Hellfire Gala issues. I'd say that if you just want an overview of the entire night and what actually happens, this might be a decent issue, because we just see little tiny bits and pieces of the whole night, but then we get these little editor's notes that tell us this thing happened in this issue, but it's only like one panel in this issue, but then they'll say check out the Hellions issue to see more about this thing happening. So for example, we saw Shatterstar, who I guess recently got resurrected in the X Factor series, come across Richter again. They used to be in a relationship and they're trying to rekindle that, and we saw that fully explored in the Excalibur issue number 21, I think, so they just referenced that. So I thought that was kind of cool that this was tying together a lot of the different issues of the Hellfire Gala that we got in the first 4 weeks, and just, making it all one bundle, wrapping everything up in this final issue. And then after we see everything wrapped up with that Prodigy storyline and that man who murdered him, with Dakin and Boy helping out, finally back at the Hellfire Gala, in sort of an after party when everything is wrapping up, Tommy Maximoff comes to the party. Apparently he was invited, and he's one of the two twins that Wanda Maximoff had in her own. It was like a whole storyline with Vision being her husband. They ended up being fake and actually parts of the devil. There's a bunch of history there, and I honestly can't remember it all myself, but they kind of played with some of those ideas in WandaVision. And we see him just going down the hall with Boy and Prodigy. They're just having fun, and suddenly Tommy is in shock because he's seen something horrible. And then we get this huge reveal. This is the big moment that I was talking about that actually makes this issue worth buying, that makes it actually important to the future of the Marvel Universe. We see that Scarlet Witch is lying on the floor dead, and we got the announcement a while back that some shocking murder was going to happen at the Hellfire Gala. This is all leading into Trial of Magneto, like I said, so who knows, maybe Magneto murdered his own daughter? I don't know. My guess is that they actually had some sort of plan, because in that last Sword issue we saw Magneto and his daughter Scarlet Witch dancing together, and Magneto saying that, he's still her daughter, no matter what is going on in Krakoa, no matter what trust he has in Xavier and all of these other mutants who have set up this island, he's still his daughter and he'll do anything to protect her. But I cannot wait to see how this leads into Trial of Magneto and just what they're even going to do in that series. I think it should be pretty exciting. On the covers that we've seen solicited for that series so far, we've seen like Magneto battling the Avengers and different heroes, so I think it should be a pretty big deal. I'm definitely going to be buying that, and that one's also written by Leah Williams, who wrote this issue, so it was a great wrap up to this series. Despite not having been getting it, I thought that I understood most of it, and the characters seemed pretty interesting. For anyone who's been reading this, let me know what you've been thinking of this series down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the whole wrap up to the Hellfire Gala. Now it's finally over, and I enjoyed a lot of these issues. Like I said, just like Marvel suggests on their checklist, I think really the only issues that you need to get are those ones that are highlighted in red on the checklist. Those are the ones where all the big announcements are. But for this week, I always give you guys something out of 10 as a final score, for the week of the Hellfire Gala. This one I think I'm going to give like an 8 out of 10. I wasn't expecting to like this issue very much. I was mostly just getting it to complete, all of the issues of the Hellfire Gala, and to get that, to find out who the shocking murder was at the end, leading into the Trial of Magneto series. But it was a lot better than I expected. There was some great art, some great banter between characters, and just an interesting conclusion to the series, despite me not actually having been getting it. So if you got information from this video, or if you enjoyed it at all, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That's the big red button, which is sitting right below this video. You can also hit the notifications bell, which is sitting right next to it. You'll be notified every single time I post a new video if you don't want to miss any. So that's everything from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye, guys. Maybe I'll see you at next year's Hellfire Gala.